everyone, so I wanted to make a video kind of showcasing our Autodesk Character Creator, character generator technically speaking, and then go over a couple of other things as well this week. So one thing we need this week is we are creating a character to practice animation on. And if you want the easiest, kind of most trouble-free path to do so, this is going to be it. This is our character creator, character generator by Autodesk. Now you do have to sign in, so you can see here I'm going to need to sign in with my student email, the same account that I signed up for 3ds Max on to be able to access this. Okay, so once we're in here, these are a couple of character designs I've already done previously, just some experiments and stuff. So you probably won't see any of these, so we're just going to come up here and click New. Okay, New Character. Now this character creator is all 2D, it's all still images, so you can't like spin around the character and look at them in live time, but you can move them around and view kind of what you're getting from the beginning. I will say a couple of things to note about this character creator. So first of all, these characters are pretty basic. They're pretty old school. They're low polygon characters, and you can get lower versions or higher versions when you go to download them. But they're pretty simplistic, kind of older looking video game style character models. Now there are 3 different kind of character body types that you can pick. Standard is normal human, but then they also got an extra muscular kind of Hulk-like character, and then this weird Gorn alien thing, which I'm guessing just because it doesn't have a nose. So I don't know why they have that, but it's there. We're going to go ahead and probably be working with standard, but you're welcome to pick any of these. So if you want something a little more lizard monster or Incredible Hulk-like, you can pick those. All right, so you can see here again, it just loads one of these characters by default, but you can pick any of them. Now I will say this, doesn't really matter which one of these guys you pick, in either group really. You can change all of these options later. So if you see one that you like, if I want this weird elf biker, I can pick it, or maybe just a normal looking person, or this weird robot looking person. Again, you can pick any of these to start with. They're just kind of like default. Maybe I'll pick a normal looking person, and then click customize. Now, once you get in customize, you can do a lot of stuff. So basically, all of the options in the character generator are using kind of morph targets. So we're going to actually play with morph targets as well. But what that is it's the kind of the same base model, but you can actually move, push, and pull the actual vertices of the model itself to create different variations. Because humans are all pretty much the same looking, that you can actually go through and blend different components of all the different pieces of these characters. So like here is, again, you can see this character, this default one, I haven't changed anything, is actually a combination of this character Elsa and Zoe kind of being blended together, right? And they all have kind of weird random names, right? So what you can do is you can actually swap out the head in here. So if I wanted to swap out, let's say Zoe here for old Esmeralda here, boom. You can see the character space is going to change because it's a halfway point between these 2 characters. If I go all the way on this side, it's going to be 100% this character Elsa. If I go all the way to this side, it's 100% this character of Esmeralda. But what we can do also is we can actually just pick certain pieces. So if I wanted, for example, the nose, I can slide this over and you can see when you're doing this, it does take a while because it loads all of these images on top of each other to simulate kind of this real-time effect, which I don't know why they even designed it that way, but they did. So you can see here now, I've got 100% Esmeralda nose with the rest of the head being Elsa. And I don't have to go 100%, I can go a little bit less too. Again, it may take a minute for it to update. Usually it tries to load them all at once, yeah, so you can see here. If I want a little bit more of the Esmeralda nose, I can get it. Or I can go off, right? By default, it's blending the entirety of the 2 heads together, but you don't have to do that. And what's really cool too is I could do, let's say, mouth here. If I wanted to, I could pick, let's say, Eleanor, load her in there, and we can actually pick 100% Eleanor's mouth if I wanted to. Or if I wanted to grab, I don't know, Mia, and throw Mia in the nose section here. Let me check it first. Boom. And then we could give her, this character, Mia's nose. So you can kind of pick any of those parts, right? So now again, we've got this character's mouth being loaded, this character's nose being loaded, and getting a completely different look to our character out of it. So again, you can do lots of fun stuff, and you can even blend between the different male and female faces as well. So if you wanted to, again, like this character's got these weird, floppy ears. So if I wanted this character to have those floppy ears, I could turn on the ears and drag this character to replace one. It takes a minute to load, but now it's going to have 100% Pete's ears. So if you, again, wanted to get any of those parts, we can do that, right? And you can blend them. So again, if I didn't want, let's say, was this the mouth? Yeah. So if I didn't want 100% this character's mouth, again, I could go somewhere between, or the same thing here again with any of these things. So maybe I wanted this here, we'll grab some of Esmeralda's cheeks, so at least we're using some of this second face, right? So again, you can see here now I have a completely different looking character. All right. You can choose, again, all these characters are compatible with each other, so it doesn't really matter which one of these base skins, textures that you can use. So if you want to use one or the other one, you can use it with any of the models. So all of the elements are completely compatible no matter how many changes or blends you've done between the two. So if I wanted to, again, change the look of this character, I could give any of these different textures to it. So I could give this creepy skeleton one. I shouldn't pay attention to which one it was originally. It was a pretty nice texture, but whatever. Let's let it load. So you can see again, there's that character with that texture. Or if I wanted to come back and pick again one of these other textures, we could do that. Maybe this one with the... No, oh, it looks like it has some variations too, which is kind of nice. So, looks like some of these have some variations, I guess maybe in the makeup and stuff, and others don't. Alright, so again, you can see there's our character. I feel like they're, I don't know. Okay, I will say you can find yourself picking through all of these different options quite a bit. There's a lot here. So again, you can see here's the hair. You can do show variations if you want to see all the different options within these hairstyles. Okay. And again, same thing. It doesn't really matter which group you're taking from. So if you want this mohawk, you can add it, again, no matter what the character is you're loading. So the same thing goes for the body. So you have complete control over that as well. So if you like one of these bodies better, if the shape fits the design of the character you're wanting to get, you can add it and you can combine it. So again, if I liked, let's say, this super muscular character, if I wanted to, again, give this character these super muscular arms or something, we could do that. And we can blend them. So remember, this body you're seeing here is actually half Elsa, half Jenna. If I replaced Jenna here with Terrence, boom, you're going to see a bit of a creatine looking physiological change here. Well, again, that loads, we can come over here and look at clothes and stuff. So you can see, again, here's that character where I have halfway through Elsa, halfway through Terrence, and we have this thing. And again, we can kind of change how much we want, right? So if we want all the way over to Elsa, or more Terrence, or anywhere in between. So maybe we wanted to go somewhere in between, we can, again, fine-tune it even more. So if we wanted to change, the stomach, the hips, the legs, etc., you can, again, make all of those changes. All right. I think that's fine. Same thing with the clothes. So you'll notice, I will say one thing to keep a note of this is there are a limited number of options. So it can be a little disappointing is a little strong, but not inaccurate. So there aren't a ton of options in here. And if you have a kind of an idea, for something you want to go with. Sometimes you just have to get kind of close enough. So I will say, when you can download this character, the one thing you can do that goes way beyond, that goes even more beyond this, if you get something pretty close to what you have in mind or intended, you can always edit these textures in something like Photoshop and modify them even more. So if I get to a shape that I really like, without having to kind of re-rig it or fix the bones or do any of that stuff, again, I can just simply modify it in Photoshop if I get it pretty close to what I'm looking for. So, again, I don't know what kind of outfit I have, and I don't really have anything in mind for this outfit, but I guess we put her in a fancy dress, right? Maybe we'll put her in this one here. Although, probably need to change the bottom since she's going to be wearing those jeans. So maybe we'll just use tights and kind of check out shoes. So again, maybe I'll give her something a little fancier. All right. Again, you see it's taking a long time to load. That's because it loads everything up as an image sequence. But there we go. So if I'm all done, I can click finish. It's going to ask me to give a name to there. We can go girl blue dress 1. Very creative name, right? All right, we'll give her a better name than that. We'll say, I don't know what she looks like. I don't know. Let's try to think of a better name. Whatever. Blue dress 1 looks perfect. Hit OK. Now, what's going to happen is it's going to add your character to here, but you can't actually download the character from this screen yet. So first of all, it's going to take a minute to generate that character. Once they're ready, you actually can create the character by clicking this button here, Generate Character. So basically, this is just like presets, if you will. And here you can choose whether you want the character a certain height, whether you want the textures to include a specular map or normal map. Again, if we're wanting to put this into a game engine or something, we might want those as well. Whether we want our geometry to be in quads or triangles. Again, generic FBX, Maya, Unity, etc. So again, I'll do 3ds Max since we're going to be doing it. What's cool is here, if you notice right here, this part I definitely wanted to showcase. It says FBX to biped 3ds Max script. So why this is the easy mode is I can download this file and I can bring it in 3ds Max and drop the script in it, and it will automatically turn this into a biped ready for us to play with no other steps. So while it's limited, again, you're only limited to these options, these characters, etc. We can always modify them later, so please keep that in mind. But, again, this is kind of already done. It's done all of the heavy lifting. It's going to be completely compatible and perfect. So, again, whether we want high polygon, low polygon, or crowd simulation, which is really super duper low polygon, we can pick. And then I'm just going to click Generate when I'm happy with it. Now, again, it's saying this could take a few minutes. And when it's done, it's going to pop over here. So you can see these are all the different characters I've generated and played with. So either I use them for different projects or examples or whatever. Again, they'll all kind of add in here. So this will take a few minutes to download. So once this is done downloading, we're going to bring this over in 3ds Max.